Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Black Anime, you could just call me that. Yeah, I'm trying to grow this channel and I'm currently looking at this debate. So if you see the title, you know what I'm talking about. So there's a YouTuber named SethTheProgrammer who takes part in debates, and he basically destroys certain people on certain topics, and he most debates he seems to win. In the anime community, I can't say I've watched all of his videos, but I've watched a few of them, and for the most part, a lot of times I agree with his opinion. Especially in this case, I also agree with his opinion that Pain is stronger than Kakuzu. I think it's kind of obvious, and most people who've watched the show would never put Kakuzu against Pain. um but let me diagnose this, and I'm just gonna first off state why I think Kakuzu wouldn't beat Pain. He's definitely not stronger than Pain. But this Noodles guy is debating SethTheProgrammer and saying that he is. First of all, it's a complete mismatch. Kakuzu, yeah, he has 4 hearts on his back, so he's able to shoot out 4 black monsters. I don't even know if they named them in the show or gave them a name. There probably is a name for them, but he shoots out 4 of them. So that means he has 5 people on the field, whereas Pain has 6 people on the field, because 6 Pats of Pain. I don't know all of the Pats by name, but I do know the Diva Pat, which is the main Pat. If you put the Diva Path up against Kakuzu by himself, Diva Path is crushing Kakuzu, no debate. Because if Kakuzu does planetary devastation, I mean, if Pain does planetary devastation, Kakuzu has no answer to that move. Like, he's just like, there's 0 chances of him surviving that or escaping it, first of all. So he would have to try and kill the Diva Path before he does that. Also, even without that, he wouldn't even be able to get close to Pain, first of all, because all Pain has, he has universal pull and he has universal push, and he's shown to be able to fight Kakashi and Taijutsu. So needless to say, Kakuzu more than likely wouldn't be able to touch him, even with his little puppet things. Pain could easily just universally pull them and end them in one blow. As we see from Kakashi, I believe it doesn't take much to kill them. Like, I believe one universal push from Pain would completely annihilate them. The one that he used to destroy the Leaf Village could easily wipe out all four of those black monster things that Kakuzu pushes out, and then all he has to deal with is Kakuzu. Yeah, no, Diva Path versus Kakuzu. I wouldn't say he stomps him because he has the 4 different hearts, but one versus 5, he still has good chances. Then once you throw in all of the other Pats, you have the summoning, and then honestly just the summoning. If you have the Diva Pat, the summoning, and then the Pat that's able to negate ninjutsu and bring them back to life, that's all. You really only need those 3, and that completely stomps Kakuzu, because even if Kakuzu were to randomly kill one of them, they would just be brought back to life. And then you have the one who can absorb ninjutsu, so that renders all of Kakuzu's black puppet monsters useless. And then on top of that, you also have the summoning, who has been shown to summon up to like 4 creatures at the same time, and Kakuzu would definitely have trouble against giant ass monsters. So yeah, let me get into the debate now. I'll timestamp it, so up to 5 minutes is when I start the debate. This is gonna be a long video because I'm gonna go through some of the debate. I might skip through it at certain parts and tell you what I think about their debate and what they're talking about and why I think this debate was extremely pointless and stupid in the first place. I know he has another video with someone who tried to argue that Kakuzu is stronger, but honestly, if you think that Kakuzu is stronger than Pain or could beat Pain in, like, I'm not gonna say any situation, but like the chances of Kakuzu winning are probably ridiculously low, like 25% or 30% is the highest chance he would ever have against Pain. The other 60 to 75%, Pain is completely destroying him with ease, first of all. So, all right, let's get into the debate.
The level after that is he doesn't necessarily. He can be moving faster than Kakashi, right?
Okay.
But Kakashi could be still moving a relative extent to that speed, right? Like the rate at which he's, because like if the Ashura path was faster,
that's fine. Like I'm okay with like him moving somewhat. I'm okay with him moving somewhat relatively, but I do think it's more like this. I do think it's more like I do think it's a lot more like that than the relative.
Say they're like,
See, they're talking about speed between Kakashi and Kakuzu and trying to relate it to Pain's speed, but Pain, if you watch Diva Path versus Kakashi, he barely even moved, like barely. Like he was countering Kakashi and Taijutsu with ease. Well, he was mostly using universal. He was using push and pull, but he barely even had to move. Kakashi was trying to hit him, couldn't really get any hits in on him. And yeah, he barely even moved. He barely had to move. If you think that Pain is relative in speed to Kakashi, then I don't know what to tell you, because all you have to do is rewatch Pain versus Four Tails Naruto or Pain versus Sage Mode Naruto. Diva Path is able to keep up with Sage Mode and Four Tails Naruto to some extent, and I highly doubt Kakashi or Kakuzu would be able to keep up with Sage Mode or Four Tails QB. Yeah, that's it. Speed is not, Kakuzu is not beating Diva Path in terms of speed, because that's like saying Kakuzu would be able to keep up with Sage Mode Naruto, which he would absolutely get stomped by Sage Mode Naruto, and I think that's obvious. So you should really compare Kakuzu to Sage Mode Naruto if you want to try and say that Kakuzu could beat Pain, which I doubt anyone would do, because Sage Mode Naruto would obviously stomp Kakuzu ridiculously hard. And this Kakashi in this fight would also get stomped by Sage Mode Naruto. So, and this Kakashi in this fight is weaker, you could say, than the one that fought Diva Path, since he gained experience, he gained knowledge from this fight, and I'm pretty sure he did other things after this fight that you could say helped improve his ability. Yeah, let's keep going.
He's a little bit, his Ashura Path's a little bit faster. That's fine. The problem is, I think Kakuzu's also a little bit faster.
Why?
So during their little physical like confrontation,
okay,
Kakashi's able to block some of his attacks. But then Hidan is also able to block some of his attacks immediately after. Same Kakashi, he hasn't used any more chakra, and Hidan is specifically stated to be the slowest member in the Akatsuki.
Yeah, but that could just mean that Kakashi got stronger by Pain. That doesn't need to mean like.
It could also mean Kakakuzu's holding back.
Okay. Or Kakuzu's just really fucking slow himself. Like he could just be like relatively.
Well, he would still be faster than Hidan.
Like he could just be like a little bit faster than Hidan. Like.
Yeah, you see this part, SethTheProgrammer is absolutely right. That's why they're on the same team together. That's a whole purpose of different characters being on the same team together, because they're relative in strength. I think all of the different team members except for maybe like Conan. I mean, obviously Conan could beat other members of the Akatsuki, but it's probably unlikely, and she's not relative in strength to Pain or Nagato at all. But she did do that paper bomb thing, which would take out a lot of people. The only reason Toby survived is because he had Izanagi, yeah. But yeah, that's the only reason Toby survived. Otherwise, he would have died in those paper bombs. And most of the other characters in the show, honestly, would have died in those paper bombs. But yeah, Toby had plot armor, so Izanami, not Izanami, Izanagi. But yeah, no. Let's continue.
That could literally be all made.
If Hidan's relative to Kakashi, and then Kakuzu is faster than Hidan, then that would suggest that.
Oh yeah, my point in what I was saying is that Hidan and Kakuzu are similar in speed. That's all I was saying. Kakuzu is definitely faster, yes, but they're similar in speed. Like, he's not that much faster than Hidan. Hidan is pretty quick and wild, but Kakuzu didn't show extreme speed feats to be like, he didn't show any extreme speed feats that show that he's way faster than Hidan. If anything, he's a little bit faster, but he's not extremely faster than Hidan. So yeah. And Kakashi is in between both of those two. I say Kakashi is faster than Hidan because he didn't get tagged by Hidan. So I'd say he's faster and better in taijutsu than Hidan because he didn't get tagged. But he's in between Hidan and Kakuzu because Kakuzu was able to tag him and catch him by surprise a couple of times, but that's just because of his unorthodox moves and the fact that Kakashi had barely any intel on him because Asuma and the rest of the team didn't fight Kakuzu. You have to remember that when Kakashi was going up against Hidan, he knew about his move and that he couldn't get tagged by him. If not, most of the Jonin in the show, even if they met Hidan and Kakuzu right off the bat, they would have got tagged by Hidan because they would have no clue about his ability and that he could kill you in one hit. Kakashi, knowing this, obviously tried his best not to get tagged by Hidan, and he successfully did it because he was better at taijutsu and he was faster. There you go. Kakuzu could be the same speed as Hidan, and the reason he tagged him is because no one knew his abilities or what he could do. So he got tagged by Kakuzu stretching out his arms and grabbing him. No one knew Kakuzu had that ability. Kakuzu threw out the puppets from his back. No one knew because he didn't do that against Asuma. Shikamaru didn't know about that. No one else knew about that. But they were still able to beat them because they worked together better as a team. And yeah, let's continue going. It was kind of plot armor too. If Kakuzu was actually trying harder from the beginning instead of wasting a lot of time like he was, he could have probably killed the whole team, but he wasted a lot of time. If you watch the show, like, he was just sitting relaxed. He was letting Hidan do most of the work, and yeah.
Kakashi, like, that could literally just mean that Kakashi is faster than Hidan too. He could still be slightly faster than Hidan.
At least this would mean Kakuzu is relative to Pain all five up, right? Like, that would at least put him on that level.
I don't think so, because just because Hidan is able to fight Kakashi doesn't mean they're the same speed. I don't think.
Well, it does mean that Hidan is relative to Kakuzu.
Because like Kakashi was able to fight both Kakashi and Hidan, so it's like, and it's not like Hidan ever tagged Kakashi. Like for instance, with Asuma, I would say that Asuma and Hidan were relative because Asuma and Hidan, they're able to clash fists and both tag each other. But with Kakashi versus Hidan, Kakashi never once gets touched by Hidan. Asuma and Hidan. But with Kakashi...
Well, alright, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit, like 5 minutes maybe, because what they're talking about here is not important.
Flow easier. But
I don't think what even happened in the Naruto manga? There's also the question of anime canonicity, but when is
of chakra, like on that lightning dog and shit. This is during the time that Kakashi could like barely pump out one Raikiri and already be fucking like dying. But like after that he gets off screen, but that just could be simply due to
I can also see like
chakra.
other like narrative arguments for it happening too, because
I think narrative arguments are the strongest for Pain winning.
Because in the fight, Kakashi, like, he has to resort to a lightning shadow clone, which means like he has to use
All right, so this whole part of the debate, they're debating whether because Kakashi used a lot more chakra intense and I'm trying to use a word that I shouldn't be using, but he used jutsu that drained a lot of his chakra when he was fighting Diva Path versus Kakuzu and Hidan. He barely used any jutsus except for Raikiri. First of all, when he first went up against Kakuzu and Hidan, he was able to Raikiri Kakuzu right off the bat, and he knew that these two people were immortals, so, well, he knew Hidan was immortal, so he wasn't gonna Raikiri him. Kakuzu, he didn't know he was immortal, so he tried to finish him off quick because first of all, he had no intel on him, so he didn't know what Kakuzu could do, but he knew he was dangerous because he was a Nakatsuki. That's why he was trying to take him out really quickly, so that all they would have to deal with is Hidan. But, you know, Kakuzu had 3 more hearts, and Kakashi had to deal with that. And he dealt with it without using chakra because he wanted to conserve his chakra just in case he needed it, because he knew this fight would be drawn out and kind of long. I think he was saving Mangekyo Sharingan as his last resort if he could, so that's why he tried to conserve as much chakra as he could. But against Diva Path, it's a little bit different because it was just, when he went up against Diva Path, I think it was just that one Diva Path at the time. He didn't realize that there was another path with him until he Raikiri'd that path and almost killed it because it jumped in the way of the Raikiri that he was preparing for the Diva Path. So Kakashi was using up a lot of his chakra to get rid of the 2 paths. He wanted to end it as quick as possible. That's why he didn't care about spending the extra chakra, because first of all, he was in the Leaf Village and he was trying to defend the Leaf Village with his life, whereas with Kakuzu and Hidan, I don't think Kakashi was focused. I think he was trying to survive. Like he wasn't trying to protect well, he had to protect the shinobi that was with him with his life, but he was more focused on trying to take out the path quickly, because he knew if he didn't do it quick, and he knew how precise timing had to be to take him out, because he realized how the universal pull and universal push worked. It was a timing between how often he could use them, so he tried to do it as quickly as possible. That's why he used as much chakra as he did. Is a difference between why he used chakra against Diva Path and why he used chakra against Kakuzu. Why he didn't use chakra against Kakuzu and Hidan, but it doesn't mean that it honestly doesn't mean that either one was stronger than the other. You could debate that him using more chakra against Diva Path means that Diva Path was stronger, but I don't think it means anything. I just think in one fight he was trying to end it as quickly as possible, and in the Kakuzu versus Hidan fight, he was trying to draw it out a little bit. He wasn't trying, like, he tried to end it as quickly as possible at first, but then he realized that wasn't going to happen, so he kind of tried to drag it out a little bit so that Shikamaru could get his plan going, where he would take Hidan into the forest and finish him. It was all according to Shikamaru's plan, so that's the reason why he conserved his chakra in that fight.
A quick substitution clone to stop Pain from killing him, whereas versus Kakuzu, he never has to do anything like that at all. Like, it's like really blatant that Kakashi was never like as overwhelmed with Kakuzu as he was with Pain. Like, he never resorted to the same things. Like, at the very end he was, of course, because obviously he's fucked up. Like with the Mangekyo, he was gonna, attack Kakuzu with Mangekyo.
Yeah, he probably wasn't gonna do that if that was his last resort, but then Naruto showed up. So, but let me skip ahead, because that's when Kakuzu started getting serious. But that's when Naruto showed up, and Naruto was able to take him out. If not, Kakashi would have definitely had to use Mangekyo Sharingan. Let me skip ahead a little bit because I don't want to bore you guys.
Oh, mine, I don't feel they're threatened, but
yeah. Well, it's similar. It's kind of like a similar situation here. If someone's got a gun in my face, I feel a little bit more scared than I would if someone just told me they were going to shoot me, right? And people have told me at school that they wanted to shoot me. You were arguing that the reason he's using these jutsu is because he believes pain is stronger. But he definitely doesn't fucking believe that Orochimaru is stronger than Pain or Kakuzu. Yet he still is more fearful of him.
No. I was saying at the time, okay, because at the time Kakashi was a lot weaker. This is before his training. So this is before his training. He thought Orochimaru was such a threat that it scared the fuck out of him. So like, I'm not saying that he's like, you know, sweating profusely at the sight of Pain or Kakuzu. I'm just saying, like, even after he knew Orochimaru was attacking the fucking village, he wasn't like doing any crazy shit. Like he wasn't like, well, he wasn't pushing himself to his absolute limit. He wasn't trying to fight Orochimaru. No, he wasn't. He was perfectly fine.
What didn't he do? Like, I think he used.
I mean, that's because, I mean, he wouldn't have been able to help the third Hokage even if he went. Like, honestly, he probably would have died if he did try and go. Plus, they had the jutsu to keep everyone out, so he wouldn't have been able to get to the. He would have had to take out the Sound Ninja first before he could even get to the third Hokage, which he could have probably done with the ease if he wanted to. But once he got to the third Hokage, I don't think there's much that he could have done. Like, yeah, honestly, at the time he was just too weak. He wasn't strong enough, or like the story didn't make him strong enough. Maybe he would have been able to help a little bit, but I feel like Orochimaru would have still been able to kill both of them if he wanted to at the time. But he would have probably still lost his arms or something like that and had to retreat. Kakashi would have been badly injured, if not dead, by the second and third Hokage. Even though they did make them extremely weak during that reanimation wasn't as strong as later in the series. But the reason Kakashi shit himself is because he was weak at the time, and he knows who Orochimaru is. Like, he knows of the legendary Sannin. He knows Jiraiya, he knows Tsunade, he knows Orochimaru, he knows how strong they are. They're basically Hokage level, and Kakashi at the time was just a young Jonin. Like, he didn't have anything crazy. All he has is regular Sharingan. He doesn't have Mangekyo yet. He can only do Raikiri like once or twice. His chakra is extremely low. This Kakashi is like the weakest Kakashi, like is the weakest Kakashi in the series. Whereas when he goes against Hidan and Kakuzu, he has the Mangekyo, he has different moves. Plus, he doesn't even know who Hidan or Kakuzu is, so why would he shit himself like he did against Orochimaru? And Orochimaru, I believe, showed him like a genjutsu of him dying. So that's the reason why he shit himself in that situation.
Used all of his ability, well, other than like little like thousand jutsu. I think he used all of his abilities. He used Raikiri, which was the strongest.
He didn't even go for Orochimaru attacking Hiruzen or anything. Like, he just didn't. He just didn't even try.
Well, he couldn't because it was attacked.
Because Kakuzu, because literally their clash has to be.
Yeah, but there's the potential for him to not be throwing full hands there. I'm just saying.
Well, no, the only time Kakuzu's chakra is ever stated to change, like they name it, is when he goes into full tentacle form. But it's never even stated that he gets stronger. It just changed.
Yeah, Taijutsu's not linked to chakra at all, though.
Taijutsu's not linked to chakra? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
Yep.
Then they debate whether Taijutsu is linked to chakra. It is, because in the show they show a lot of times when people don't have any chakra, they can't even move, or they get knocked out, or they like, yeah. So it is linked to chakra to some extent, but this debate is about whether Taijutsu is linked to chakra is kind of pointless. to the whole Kakuzu versus Pain, so I don't even know why they talked about that for so long. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Well, all we know is that well, actually, it might very well be because the Hirodora actually.
I hate pepperoni.
Too, that there's no real argument for base Kakuzu's durability, and that's why whenever I bring up like Shinra Tensei, I'm like, yeah, Shinra Tensei, like it does negate jutsu.
Yeah, but you could just be doing it via power. Like, you know, negate doesn't necessarily mean like bypass like unconventionally. Like it could just be negating it like by pushing it away, you know.
We can look at negate's definition real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Nullify. It just says nullify or make
ineffective. Yeah, you know, like if I throw that shit away, I am making it ineffective. And nullify is also like doesn't necessarily mean.
All right, what does nullify mean? Make legally null and void.
Okay,
so he just makes diamond release illegally void.
Look at the second one. Make of no use or value cancel out. Right. So like. Kakuzu's illegal. Oh yeah, Kakuzu's getting
make legally null and void or invalidate. So yeah, like the Shinra Tensei might just actually just invalidate diamond release. Like
yeah, but invalidate doesn't mean anything either.
Yeah, it does. It literally just means cancel out.
That's a legal definition, Seth. Look at the definition below it.
No, that's just the verb form.
It utilizes jutsu like your.
So it's like, would Kakuzu's body fail if he used the fucking ninjutsu guy on him? Like. It might be, bro.
You talking about like him absorbing the worms?
Like he might, like if the fucking fat dude got a hold of Kakuzu, it might actually just shut his body down. Like,
well, the problem I use when I'm talking about Kakuzu is that he has these massive AOE attacks that he can amp. So like, just one of his just normal nature styles is able to cancel out Kakashi's attack, but like,
So yeah, he does have the massive jutsus with his little puppet shits, but you know those don't mean anything really, because that one path that can absorb ninjutsu can basically shield all of the other paths from his ninjutsu as long as they're in the proper formation. And since their eyes are linked and they move pretty quickly, they could all get behind him before anything crazy happens. And there's also that path that's built like a machine and has nukes, entire nukes on top of him. That one that he shot at what's his name? Fat guy, fat boy, forgot his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He was running and Kakashi used Mangekyo Sharingan to save him. I'm pretty sure that nuke would have blowed him sky high. So like he has all of those missiles and a whole bunch of other weaponry that he could use against Kakuzu to blow him sky high. Who knows if it would work or not, but the reason I'm bringing up that path of pain is because he was able to rip off Jiraiya's arm in Sage mode with no problem. So it's safe to say that if he came in close contact with Kakuzu, there's no doubt in my mind that Kakuzu is not as durable as Sage Pat's Jiraiya. No way. So I think that if that path got next to Kakuzu or close to him, he would be able to rip off his arm or severely injure him with no problem. Yeah, let's continue.
Like when he starts to like put them together, he overpowers Kakashi. So say he uses this like fucking nuke ass bitch that blows up the entire area, right? Like the only one I see standing is gonna be like,
well, the explosion
the one that
is of
jutsu,
the
right?
explosion is of chakra. No, because when the person who uses the absorption does it, it literally sucks everything in the room into him. So like if he was in the middle of an explosion, the explosion would just suck into him. Like,
what?
Yeah, that's literally what happens. I'm not even joking. Like it's. Also,
I mean, he's right. When Jiraiya tried to use a giant Rasengan on Pain, literally it just started getting sucked in. Like the huge ball got extremely small, and it went into like a singularity. Like it went towards one point. And I think that's the same thing that would happen if if Kakuzu tried to use his you know, I'm gonna call it majestic destroyer flame out of searing migraine, that's what it's called. And he destroyed the whole forest with like fire. If the path of pain that absorbs jutsus was in front of it, most of the fire that destroyed that whole forest would have condensed directly into him, and he would have probably just absorbed all of it, if not most of it. So
also
used him for a lot of dumb moments.
Also, I don't even think that
could he absorb something like as massive as that like fucking nuke Kakuzu dropped?
Yeah, he could.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah. And here's the thing: there's no limit to it too, because his absorption ability. No, it's not, because his absorption ability is literally stated to go into an endless pit. So he can.
Well, it sounds like it's infinite. It sounds like it has no limit.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's like no like
no
matter what Kakuzu does, like there's no it's not like there's a limit. Like there's not like a limit to like him absorbing.
His chocolate well is infinite, not that his absorbing power is infinite. We don't actually know the extent that he like. You know, when Kisame is like able to. Like when niggas talk about the prey to path absorbing Kisame is like water prison, right? We always talk about that. And we're like, can that nigga like absorb an entire fucking ocean?
Well,
like,
we already know what he can and can't do, I believe, right?
Like, well, the biggest thing we've ever seen him absorb is that like fucking Rasengan, right?
All right, so I need to know if Noodles is black first of all, cause he's over here just throwing out the N-word like casually, but yeah, no, he can absorb pretty much anything. So I don't even know what he's trying to say right now. Yeah, Kakuzu gets stomped. He has like 25% chance of winning. Like he's not winning, more than likely.
Wait, who?
Ashura, is it Ashura or Preda? Or it's Ashura, right?
The Asura passed the fast boy.
Oh yeah, which one's Preda? It is Preda. What
also, like, you know, Nagato literally just uses Preda's ability. Like
that just looks like air going off the ground. Doesn't look like
Preda is just the Renegon's ability through him. So it's like Nagato is literally just that old Nagato that fought B.
So he can bring as much as he wants. So he's able to do it really quickly, but that doesn't mean he's able to do a lot.
That we know that obviously Tendo can blast away huge attacks like that, but like if you're saying, okay, for some reason, like maybe Kakuzu attack the shit out of Tendo uses ability and then he tries to nuke them or something, like yeah, the Preda path probably could absorb enough. Like
yeah, no, yeah, that's most of the debate, if not the end of it. Sorry for making this go on so long, like 30 minutes, but if you do watch the whole thing, I do appreciate it. Yeah, no, if you think Kakuzu can touch pain in any way, especially like if you're saying just the diva path versus Kakuzu, then maybe I can give you the path. Like I could see Kakuzu maybe pulling out a win against just the diva path. Like I could see that happening. Like I'd give him over a 50% chance of winning if it's just the diva path. But if it's the diva path plus the 5 other paths of pain, Kakuzu's chances of winning, like even just against just 4 of them, not even like the whole 6 paths, if you just have the guy who can absorb ninjutsu, the one who revives, and then the one who does summonings, that's game over for Kakuzu. He can't handle that much. He can't handle the diva plus one of them reviving the others, plus the absorption, plus summoning creatures, all of the summoning creatures that the one who summons creatures can do. Yeah, he's getting destroyed easily. Like all pain has to do is slowly take out the black puppet shits one by one, and then Kakuzu will be the last one. He'll go into that form with all the tentacles and shit, and pain will just completely destroy him, either planetary devastation or universal pull into something. Like, so that's pretty much it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm always open to, you know, debates and whatnot. But yeah, this isn't even really a debate. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. This is just rambling of nonsense because Kakuzu is not touching Pain in the slightest, in my opinion. But I'm open to debate it. So.